Hi everyone, I'm Charu, a yoga coach. Thanks for watching my channel. We're in conversation with my dear friend Jan from California, and she's a certified Qigong healer and certified emotion code practitioner as well. And today, Jan, you're going to talk to us about releasing trapped emotions, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Hearing that trapped emotions, like it seems like it feels heavy. It feels heavy to know that there are all these emotions that we're holding and are possibly trapped. And once we release them, what great magic could probably happen. So I'd love to hear about that. And for the listeners and viewers, so tell us, how do we release trapped emotions?
Awesome. Well, a lot of us don't really even think about it sometimes, but sometimes we're human beings, and human beings can think, and our thoughts lead to our emotions, not the other way around. We have the thought first, and then we have the emotion, and we can either be our own worst enemy or our own best enemy, depending on how we're thinking and what kind of emotions that we're bringing up. And we learned in past sessions that when we have blockages in our energy channels, that's when we have healing problems. That every time we have some kind of a health issue of any kind, whether it's physical or emotional or mental, it's always because we have energy blockages in our energy channels. So the idea is to remove those blockages so that the energy can get through to every cell of the body, and then the body can heal itself. Well, as part of that, our emotions actually cause more energy blockages than all of the other causes put together. That's how powerful our emotions are. And a lot of times they're hidden. We don't even know we have these emotions because they might have been formed from past experiences from our childhood that we're still holding on to. We don't realize it. They might have been inherited from our parents or our caretakers. They can even come from past lives and from our ancestors. Or it can happen today. I mean, we're always creating new emotions in our daily lives. So when these emotions get trapped, they get trapped in our body. They create blockages. Sometimes they get into our DNA, and we don't even realize they're there. So one way that I have found to release trapped emotions, and it's a really excellent way, is called emotion code. And I did get certified in that modality. The reason I did this was because I do Qigong healings, and every once in a while I'll come across somebody who is kind of stuck and we can't get beyond a certain point with their healings. And I'm sure that it's because of their emotions, because it's true that emotions cause more blockages than anything else. So I wanted to be able to break through these emotions for people, and I was looking for a way to help them do that. So it happened that I needed this myself at one point. I do a lot of public speaking and teaching, and I used to be completely petrified to speak in front of people. I was one of those people who would rather die than speak in front of an audience. So I got through this by doing it, practice, 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 went to different classes, did all kinds of things to boost my confidence speaking in front of people. But as it turned out, I had a class that I was teaching that was a 4-day class, 2 hours a day. And for some reason, all the old fears came back by the time I was on the second day. I was petrified to go into the third day of teaching, just petrified. And I didn't know what I was going to do. So I got online. Keep in mind, I was looking for this thing for emotions for people. I got online, and it just popped up in front of me right away, emotion code. And a practitioner was doing the healings. So I signed up, and I had her do healing for me with emotion code. And I'm telling you, as she did it, I could feel those emotions being released. I felt lighter and lighter and lighter the longer she went. And the way it works is, and I'm not going to tell you the whole methodology because it doesn't, I can do that when somebody contacts me. I can explain how it works. But what you do is you have to identify what emotions are causing the issue. So you do that with muscle testing, with NLP. And then once you identify the emotions, you identify them one at a time. With each emotion, then I do a release for the person using energy release. So it's energy medicine, and
Right.
and it works. I mean, immediately it gets released. I ask the person when I identify the emotion, can you relate to this? And a lot of times they will. They'll come up with something that happened in the past to cause this that they might not have thought about for years. And as we release the emotions, they feel lighter and lighter, and it really works. So
Right.
I just wanted to say a few things about how do you know if this modality can help. Well, it's if you're having any type of an emotional issue that you want to get rid of, maybe it's sadness or depression, maybe it's anger, hopelessness, anxiety. You've already identified what you want to get rid of. That's a good way to know. Sometimes we get stuck. We're trying to make progress with business or with some other issue in our life, and we just get stuck. We can't get beyond it. We can't motivate ourselves. That's another time emotion code would be really helpful. If we have feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt, that's another thing. A lot of us second guess ourselves all the time, and we just
Yeah.
can't get past that. Feelings of isolation, feeling confused, if you need to manage stress, or if you have any physical issue, because emotions cause physical issues too. If it's a persistent issue, it can be true that emotion is causing it. And if you release that emotion, sometimes that symptom disappears. Weight
Right.
challenges, addictions, just if you went through a traumatic event and you have trauma in your life, it can work with PTSD. So there's just a lot of different ways that it can work for you.
You would be very busy because I think one person probably has like a whole list, you know.
Yes,
We we
exactly.
are we are so complicated, and we have so much, we're so detailed, and we have so much that we hold, I think, uh over years. So, I mean, I think it'd be one person of healing could probably take a long time, or maybe not. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I
exactly.
can relate to a lot of the things that you just said. Most people, I think the listeners and the viewers, can relate to a lot of what you've just
Mhm.
shared.
Yeah, and
And
releasing that is so freeing. You can feel so much better just getting that weight off your shoulders.
yeah, what if there's so much that a person doesn't know? You were saying earlier, like, you kind of have to know what's bothering you, or what emotions. What if they don't know, but they just know they have a lot of stuff?
Yeah, that's the thing you don't have to know. It it uncovers hidden emotions that you
Right.
may have stored in your system years ago, or like I said, before you were born even.
Yeah, maybe ancestrally, or early childhood.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Exactly. And it's the NLP, the muscle testing that helps to identify it. So you don't even have to think, what might this be? And that's the beauty of it.
Right.
It gets rid of those things that are hidden traumas.
Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with muscle testing. There was something called Touch for Health, and I know that that also does some muscle healing. So when you talk about releasing some muscle tension, yeah, that makes sense, because we're probably that emotion has parked itself in the body, right? So you're right.
Exactly.
Starts from here. What was the thought that occurred that led to that emotion that now has parked somewhere in this body?
And the other beauty is that you don't even have to think through all that. Once it's identified, I just do a quick release, and you don't have to feel the emotion again. We just release it very simply.
And
And
it's gone.
when you think about it, so many times, we'll have issues, we'll have problems throughout the day that we can't put a finger on why. You know,
Yeah, we know why we're feeling a certain way.
yeah, we have no idea, and that's because it's hidden, and
Yeah.
it needs to come to the surface, and it needs to come out. And this is just a really easy way to do it.
Right. And would you say, Jan, that like a person would have to have a few sessions, or is one enough, or several sessions? Like, what do you think?
Usually, it's more than one. We try not to release more than 10 or 15 emotions all in one session, because we don't want to get too much going on, disturb too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very
That can be like
helpful.
extreme on the other side, right? So
Yeah. So it usually takes more than one. And then, once you're pretty clear, um, you can come back again, and because we're always creating new emotions that need
yeah.
to be released. It's one of those things where you can keep doing it. You can also learn to do it for yourself.
Oh, that's great. So it's like self-healing
Mhm. Exactly.
and preventive.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that today. And that is a big one, and even bigger to know. And it makes sense that is the biggest block that we carry, our emotions. And it makes so much sense because we hold so much here, and so much is like it's like a roller coaster just going on with stuff.
Mhm.
So great. So people can definitely contact you, and that information will be in the description below. And is there any last thoughts or last thing that you'd like the viewers or listeners to think about or leave them with?
I guess just what we said about being, not knowing. If you have you're facing something that's just not working out, and you just don't know what it is, and you can't, no matter how much you dig, you can't figure it out. That's the time to think about emotion code.
Yeah, come to you for some emotion code healing for sure. And I'll look forward to my session too. I think we could all use some release of trapped emotions. Yeah.